very quick group shot and then we can get started. Everybody look. Perfect. Okay, Jenny, do you want to start the webinar?
Yes, thank you so much to everybody for joining us, and let's have an interesting session. Thank you.
So it's already on?
It is indeed, and good afternoon to everyone joining us. Good morning to those of you who are joining us from Europe. A very warm welcome to the 2022 edition of the European Research and Innovation Days in ASEAN. My name is Susanne Renzo-Vaso. I am one of the two regional coordinators of the EURAXESS Worldwide Project. You can also see here my wonderful colleague, Dr. Jenny Lind-Mako. Hi, Jenny. We are part of a global network that is dedicated to building bridges between the research communities in Europe, in the European research area, and those in our partner countries across the globe. Jenny and I are based here in Southeast Asia, but we have colleagues all over the world. Our task is really to inform you about the opportunities for you to develop your research career in Europe, to find research collaborators in Europe, to find potential innovators in Europe, so that we can all join forces to find solutions to some of the pressing challenges that the world is facing today. Now, this is the 7th year in a row that we're putting on the EU R&I Days, and each year, of course, we're looking at the most pressing topics that are important to researchers, innovators, scientists, policymakers in Europe and in Southeast Asia. This year, we're focusing on the twin transition, digital and green, and we all know that the issue of climate change is a transnational issue. It affects the world as such. It is an issue that we need to tackle right now. So we're hoping with this platform, we're contributing to helping you find each other, so to say. And to start off with this, we have introduced you already to some of the exciting research that is coming out of Europe. And we're now in fact, the final session of this year's event, and we're looking at Spain. And introducing to you today's topic and also the moderator is my colleague, Jenny. Please, Jenny.
Muchas gracias, Susan. Bienvenidos a esta sesión interesante con España. Tengo una relación muy especial con España, ya que hice mi MBA, PhD y mi beca Marie Curie en España. So, embajador, muchas gracias por venir, por su apoyo. Oh my gosh, necesito mejorar mi español. So I guess I will speak in English now. But I just wanted to greet everybody in Spanish because this is really a nice, strong close to the EU Research and Innovation Days in ASEAN with a focus on green and digital. And it is my pleasure to introduce to you the moderator, who is also the reason why we are gathered here today. And so we thank him wholeheartedly for organizing this session. He is the representative of CDTI to Singapore, Dr. Jordi Espluga. Thank you so much for organizing this session, and the room is yours.
Thank you, Dr. Jane. The pleasure is mine. Thank you for the introduction, and welcome to everyone to this event between Spain and Southern Asian countries, with the title "Innovation Dialogue: Spain-ASEAN in Digitalization and Global Health," which is organized by CTI. CTI is a public funding agency, and the Spanish Ministry of Science and Innovation. It's also with the support with the Embassy of Spain to the Kingdom of Thailand. And within that frame that provides EURAXESS to project the Spanish capabilities in health and health-related technologies, and we'll have 4 presentations from Spain from 4 business entities. The objective of this event, as I said, is to show one approach between the 2 research communities of Spain and ASEAN in health and health-related technologies, with emphasis on digitalization as enabling technology in this field. Everyone knows that health is a pillar on science and technology roadmaps in Spain. It's one of the key strong pillars in the R&D plan. It's totally aligned with the European Union push in this strategic sector. And I guess it's also a priority for the 10 members of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. Pretty much convinced that this will be very interesting for all the audience. The program today begins with welcome remarks from the Spanish ambassador to Thailand. It's followed by the presentation of CTI as a main funding agency, and we'll present the programs reaching out to countries of ASEAN. And then we'll be delighted with the 4 outstanding entities in the field of health. Before we continue, well, just to say that we enabled some part for Q&A and chat, so you go there and you can post questions through the Q&A and chat functions. And without any further ado, it's my honor to introduce the Ambassador of Spain to the Kingdom of Thailand and an Ambassador designated to Laos and Cambodia, Mr. Felipe de la Morena. Please, Felipe de la Morena, your floor is yours. You are mute. You are mute, Ambassador.
Sorry. Bueno, bienvenidos a todos. It is really a privilege and an honor to be able to participate in this event. I would like to start by thanking the EU delegations in Thailand as well as Singapore for inviting Spain to be a part of this venue. My thanks as well to the colleagues of CDTI, Ministry of Science and Innovation of Spain, for taking the lead in the organization of this webinar, and to the 4 Spanish experts from industry, Genom Cor, as you will be hearing, Madrija, NGN, Neuro, and Regimat 3D, for their endorsement to this activity and their value addition to the program. I'm very pleased to see that over the last 4 years, research and innovation cooperation has not only been a significant element of mutual interest on the agenda of Spain with ASEAN countries, and particularly with Thailand, but also that interactions among institutional, academic, and industry stakeholders from Spain and the ASEAN member countries keep consistently growing year after year, as I will mention later on. And this event, I think, is testament of how Spain is institutionally committed in aligning its research and innovation agenda and capabilities with the ASEAN countries. This afternoon, the Spanish experts will be sharing their experience in contributing to the digitalization of the health sector through, as you will be hearing, data solutions for precision medicine, tissue 3D bioprinting, wearable medical devices, assessing, for instance, the risk of epileptic seizures, or predictive healthcare information systems alerting patients with cardiovascular diseases. But beyond the sharing, they are also actively, and we at the embassy here in Thailand also actively seeking for new innovation cooperation opportunities, tech alliances, and business partnership with stakeholders in ASEAN. COVID-19 has brought to the fore research and health. I would like to say that health and technologies play a very important role in the Spanish economy, with more than 1,000 companies, out of which almost 50% are into manufacturing. Spain also has a very well-developed manufacturing sector and is a leading exporter of medical devices. Despite the economic crisis by COVID, the health technology sector generated a turnover of 8.8 billion euros in 2020, almost half generated from exports, and employed 28,500 people. In terms of IPR generation, 126 health tech patents were filed in 2020. In addition to the health technology, the pharmaceutical industry also plays a role as an important driver of Spanish exports and private R&D investment. Its value to the economy is of 16 billion, and 75% of the local production is exported. Just to give you a glimpse of where we are. Spain has a solid scientific base and supporting infrastructure. It ranks 11th largest scientific power worldwide by number of scientific publications. And in fact, health-related publications are amongst the ones with increased impact factor. Spain boasts an extensive network of centers and units of excellences that probably you will be hearing later on, the Severo Ochoa, Maria de Maestus, across several disciplines such as global health, genomics, oncology, biomedicine, bioengineering, cardiovascular diseases, and neurosciences. Therefore, I would like to highlight that Spain has a vision, has concrete plans, and budget allocation for modernizing the sector through digitalization. Leveraging on the Recovery and Resilience Facility of the Next Generation EU funds, Spain adopted in November 2021 a health-related recovery flagship project of national importance aimed to modernize the health sector in Spain. This will translate into public and private investments mounting to 1.46 billion euros during the period 21-23. And also Spain has shown a renewed impetus for engagement with ASEAN countries in research and innovation since 2015, as I mentioned at the beginning. As a result of that, we have been developing projects in Thailand on rice cooperation, on circular economy, on sustainable packaging, or in Malaysia, on energy intelligence systems or advanced materials, just to name a few. All in all, I am delighted to see the good momentum that the research and innovation partnership with ASEAN countries is going through, and I am fully convinced that these institutional efforts will pave the way forward. The Embassy of Spain in Thailand remains committed to this agenda and will put its best efforts to keep scaling up research, innovation, partnerships, and cooperation with the ASEAN countries. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the great work that is being done by the Research and Development Counselor, Adrián Gutiérrez, and I would like to also express my thanks to the moderator, Jordi Espluga, for inviting me to be part of this event. I wish you all very fruitful interactions, and just to let you know that the embassy is there, and we, of course, are at your disposal. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ambassador. I got hold of the fact that Spain is not only working on the engagement with ASEAN members states since 2015, long ago already, but also with a renewed impetus. Well, a solid proof of the importance of ASEAN for Spain. Next speaker is the Director General of CDTI. CDTI is the main funding agency in Spain and the Ministry of Science and Innovation. Mr. Javier Ponce, please, the floor is yours.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Jordi. First of all, I would like to thank our ambassador. This is helping us to organize this type of events and have the possibility to be present at this important occasion. Secondly, I would like to thank also European Union delegation in Singapore and EURAXESS ASEAN for organizing these type of events and giving us Spain and entities the opportunity to show their capacities. EURAXESS ASEAN invites European Union member states to showcase research projects in science and technology in the topic of health and with ASEAN. This is the occasion we are taking in mind. First of all, I would like just to mention some figures from Horizon 2020. It's a well-known program at the European Union. I think we can be considered Spain as a great partner in Horizon 2020. We score as fourth country in terms of returns, more than 10% of return on European Union call for proposals, and Spanish more than 3,700 entities from Spain has been able to be involved in projects that will be financed for more than 6,100 million euros. So we think Spain has well done on Horizon 2020 opportunities, and they are developing very important and relevant projects. Also, Spain ranks first in project leaderships, with more than 70% of the total of the project are led by Spanish companies. In the topic of health, demographic change and well-being. Sorry, I have any other compromises, and they are calling for me. In the topic of health, demographic change and well-being, Spain was awarded with more than 500 million euros in more than 400 research projects with the participation of entities from Spain. We are ranked on second in this topic of aging, active aging and health self-management with 14%, and in health assistance with more than 12%. So, as you can see, the figures that we have record in Horizon 2020 are a very nice one. And to see with some of the entities, you will have the opportunities today to be present in this event. In the current Horizon Europe, this is the follower of Horizon 2020. It's the present framework program, European framework program. Spain has been awarded with more than 60 signed grants with a total of 89 million euros in health and health-related technologies. So we are developing new possibilities in this big program in Europe. So we are very well connected with the more relevant companies and entities in health in Europe, and we are, why not, a bridge to collaborate with Asian organizations if they want to work jointly with European partners. If I pass to some words related to our direct financing activities as public innovation agency, as we belong to the Ministry of Science and Innovation, we offer loans, grants, mixed loans and grants and equity to Spanish companies to develop research and development projects. In 2021, CDTI invested 1,000 million, more than 1,000 million euros in research activities carried out by Spanish entities. Of those, 98 million euros were to fund more than 100 research projects in health, pharma, and biotechnologies. So we are very well represented in Europe at the European programs, but also we have very strong programs, domestic programs, that our companies take the opportunity to develop their core business and technologies. But in relation with Asia, we have several options. I would like to mention three of them because they are the more relevant for Asian organizations to cooperate with Spanish partners. First one, EURAXESS program. This is a very well-known program in Singapore, especially because Singapore joined EURAXESS in 2021. The Enterprise Singapore has the funding agency that represents Singapore state in EURAXESS, and this program proposed project of bottom-up nature, multi-sectoral with multi-sectoral activities. Digital and health are of high priorities for this program. So I gave an offer the possibility to contact with our delegations there in Asia in order to cooperate with Spanish companies. But we have the second opportunity we offer to Asian organizations. It's the bilateral programs that we sign with some states. At present, we have signed bilateral agreements with Thailand and Malaysia. We are studying more possibilities with other countries of the area. So with these two states, we have a possibility to finance the projects. We finance the Spanish participation, and the Thailand or the Malaysia partner, public agency, finance the Malaysia or Thailand partner of the Spanish company. So we join forces and we join financing in order to be possible to finance the whole project during its development. But we have another option for the rest of countries that we have not yet signed any agreements. We have unilateral programs. We have the possibility to funding as a funding instrument, providing funding to projects with to Spanish companies that collaborate with entities from Indonesia, Vietnam, Philippines, Laos, Cambodia, or Myanmar. So we offer a whole opportunities to make jointly efforts developing this type of project. I would like just to mention, as the ambassador has done, the importance of the area of health in Spain. The public expenses in health in 2019 amounted to 75,000 million euros, accounting to 6% of the GDP, of our GDP. So health is a pillar of the recovery and economic transformation program in Spain, with the objective to mobilize from public and private sector and novel investment in this area of 1,400 million euros over the period of 3 years. It's a top priority within the plan. The challenge to develop precision medicine through the incorporation of patents, genomic data, combined with clinical records, as well as environmental, lifestyle, socioeconomic, so epigenomic things, among others, to profile patents for more precise medical treatments. The plans aims at positioning Spain as a leading country in advanced therapies, personalized medicine, develop a digital health system by integrating data from patent and digital transformation. We have just closed a domestic call for proposal that we have launched in collaboration with the Spanish Health Agency, the Carlos III Institute, jointly with CDTI. We have launched a call for proposal, more than 100 proposals, jointly efforts between our public hospitals and companies trying to develop new advanced therapies and new medical devices for the future. We are now evaluating the project. We hope we will conclude the evaluation at the end of the year, and we will fund more than maybe 80 projects with 55 million euros to develop new R&D projects between public and private partners in Spain. So Asia is a priority for CDTI International Actions. I will recommend Spanish companies and Asian companies to develop new possibilities and find new ways to make collaboration for the future. CDTI will offer always a nice financing instruments for those projects, and we will do our best in order to find ways to find a strong cooperation between Spain and Asia countries. We are going there just in order to make good things and offer our capabilities and possibilities. For us, funding programs for collaboration, it's a priority at present. We have an agreement with our Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and we will maintain these actions during the next years for the future to show our possibilities and capabilities from Spain. So thank you very much, and enjoy the event. Have nice opportunities for collaboration, and please tell us how we can help to finance your projects, your innovation projects for the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Javier. It's been a pleasure to hear about that. We have the European Framework Program now, Horizon Europe, Eureka with Singapore, bilaterals with Thailand and Malaysia, and unilateral in general. So up to 4 programs for collaboration with Asian countries. Remarkable. Next, now we'll follow with the more hands-on experience cases from the experts. Let's see the time. Well, we are a bit late. Anyways, let's try to push on the agenda. And with the first speaker to begin with is Mr. Ismael Moreno. Mr. Ismael Moreno is the CEO of a company called Madrija Consulting, specialized mainly in the development of cardiology solutions and with a strong presence in Spain and Switzerland. Mr. Ismael Moreno, please go ahead.
Hi, good morning to everyone. I would like to thank mainly the ambassador and the general manager of the CDTI and his team to let us the opportunity to explain one of our projects. And I would like to share a presentation if I can.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. It's okay?
Sure, yes.
Okay. Well, Madrija was created in 7 years ago with a group of people with 20 years of expertise in healthcare systems, in regional healthcare systems in Spain. And we develop mainly software products related with different clinical specialties in hospitals. Nowadays, we have, 2 main offices in Spain and in Switzerland that I will explain later, and about 50 employees, most of them computer engineers and very specialized in HL7 standards. I think they are worldwide healthcare standards, so that's good for these collaborations. And we develop all of our products from our R&D deployment. Well, this is our milestones. Then almost since the beginning, the CDTI, it's a main component of our history. Well, which is quickly our business model. Well, we try to find slots or niche in clinical specialties in hospitals that are not digitalized, or that even if they are digitalized, don't get all the data from the hundreds of clinical devices that you can find in any hospital around the world. So we take some doctors so specialized in that specialty. We look for a main vendor or main manufacturer in the healthcare industry, like you are going to see big companies. And at the end, we get the financial terms. And most of the times, in this case, is with the CDTI, because as I guess all the 4 participants today from Spain knows that any development in the healthcare environment is a very long process from you have the idea to get to the market. So we need a special financial things to get this, because we spend more than 2 years to develop the product and then go to the market and sell. Well, we have 4 projects with the CDTI. The first of all was the ophthalmology information system. The second one was the cardiology. And we are now developing such a future projects involving quantum computing in pharmacogenetics, well, things that is going to happen maybe in 5 years. So these some of our partners, big partners, vendors around the world like Abbott or Medtronic, great partners that sell our products. Well, just to give you an example in these 5 minutes, we detect almost 6 years ago that the cardiology area is one of the main specialties that were not digitalized, specifically digitalized in the hospital. So we took and studied all the devices, all the needs that these cardiologists had. And we detect that they use some obsolete technologies, lose so many information from devices, from a pacemaker to image devices. So we try to collect and analyze all those data that were in different standards and in different formats from different vendors, and integrate it with the great project that we have in Spain of electronic health record, and complement these big systems. So we create our product that is called Enigma Cardiology Information System, that collect all the data from any section in a cardiology department in a hospital. So right now we have 6 big modules that we deploy in hospitals, and then based on our R&D department, we continue to develop technological modules that complement the information we collect and that the cardiology needs to get better diagnosis and better follow-ups of patients. Well, this is our the product that is selling the most nowadays here or not just in Spain, but in Europe, and is the follow-up of patients with an implantable device. Well, it could be pacemakers or defibrillators, and we follow those patients on real time. So they get a device on near his bed, and all nights they report the information of that device that led us to make predictive medicine and detect arrhythmias or any episode that this patient could have. Around the world, there are 5 big vendors of these devices: Biotronic, Boston, Medtronic, Abbott, and Microport. So we have integrations with all these vendors. In fact, they sell our product, Enigma CRM. So, well, it's a very complex technological, because every product has its own format, but we transform this in a worldwide standard called IDCO. And then we send this information to the electronic health record that the hospital has. Well, we keep researching and developing new modules, like modules to do clinical studies, big clinical studies. Right now we are working on one with 30 hospitals around Europe. Tools that could search in a huge electronic health record terms or words to get information about patients. And we right now are in 55 hospitals, 45 here in Spain, and we start the internationalization process 3 years ago, and we already are #1 in Switzerland with more than 10 hospitals. So I would like to finish with one question: which is the next country that we can go?
Thank you, Mr. Ismael, for your presentation. It's quite nice to see that you identify opportunities in hospitals which could improve their solutions through digitalization, which is pretty much the topic of today's webinar. Next speaker is Regema 3D, which is a company with presence in 31 countries. Mr. Manuel Figueruela, please.
Thank you, Jordi. And thank you for giving us the opportunity of being here in this amazing initiative and promoted by CDTI and from the Spanish government. I'm going to share my screen right now. Can you see my screen? Okay. In RegEmat 3D, we think that the best investment in life is health. The 80% of the global population over age 65 is affected by, for example, cartilage pathologies, as for example, arthritis in the knee. And this is very important because these pathologies don't have cure. Do you imagine to have the possibility of solving it? We are doing it. Because in RegEmat 3D, we are designing and manufacturing 3D bioprinters and bioreactors that allow us to print human living tissues and organs in the labs. We have a unique 3D tissue generation model because with the bioprinter, we can print scaffold, we can feed it with the cells, and applying growth factors, protein, we are achieving human living tissues. And with the bioreactor, we are functionalizing in the lab these tissues, and we are achieving to have functional tissues ready to be implanted in the patients. Our mission is to develop innovative solutions in the areas of bioprinting and regenerative medicine toward the clinical application, aiming improving the quality of life of patients and saving lives. With the bioprinting, we are applying the 3D additive manufacturing technologies, 3D printing, focusing the tissue engineering, and with our main aim in the regenerative medicine. What can we do? We can print scaffold, controlling both the internal shape and the external shape and the internal mesh using different material. We are feeding the scaffold with cells and applying growth factor. We are achieving, as I told you, human living tissues. Can we manufacture organs? Not yet, but we are collaborating with the most important research group around the world, and we are nearest that you can imagine. We are researchers, and we work with and for researchers. In RegEmat 3D, we are offering the possibility of customized bioprinter, because one bioprinter for all application doesn't exist. For example, if you want to print skin, you need to control a temperature up to 37 degrees in the syringe, but if you want to print cardiac tissue, you need to control a wet range of temperature from -20 to 100 degrees in the printing bed. Therefore, we have the possibility of not only configuring the bioprinter with different components, but also to develop ad hoc tool depending on the needs of our collaborators. Here you can see different configuration of the printed using different materials, as for example, collagen, arginates, and achieving impressive resolution up to 150 microns. This is possible because we are developing both the hardware and the software of the bioprinter, and therefore we have the possibility of customizing the whole system. Here you can see how a bioprinter works. I'm going to show, for example, the bioprinter printing and neuron structure. As you can see here, which is one of our internal projects. In this video, you can see also a scaffold fitted with cells. And also we are going to use UV light to photopolymerize the scaffold, achieving flexible structure that could be implanted in the patients. Our system, as I told you, is validated for several applications. For example, for the regeneration of osteochondral injuries in the knees. In this picture, you can see the green point are collagen type 2, the market that expressed the cell viability. Here we have chondrocytes, the cells that will regenerate the cartilage. Our technology is supplied in different fields, not only in the tissue engineering, but also in the biomaterial development and in the drug testing. In the drug testing field, we are covering the gap between the animal model and the human model, because For example, we can print a colon cancer tumor to test the drug with human tissues, and the results will be better than the obtaining in the animal model. And we are reducing the cost, we are reducing the time to market, and we are reducing the use of animals in the labs. We are also developing biomaterials. For example, with the Aerospatial European Agency, we are developing a biomaterial which is going to be tested in zero gravity condition. And we are developing other bioinks, for example, bioinks based in Gelma, and we are going to functionalize it with graphene fibers to obtain a material, a conducting material, which is going to be applied in some projects, as for example, with spinal cord regeneration. And in the tissue engineering, what are we really doing? Nowadays, we are present in more than 30 countries around the world, not only in Europe, but also in USA, Canada, India, China, Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, Australia. As I told you, we are researchers. We have our own facilities in the south of Spain, and we are focused in 4 internal projects. We are printing skin, we are printing cartilage, and we are regenerating the spinal cord and peripheral nerve. We are also doing our own clinical trials, in this case in Mexico, where the regulatory allow us to work with the patients. And I'm going to explain you how our bioprinter works. We are working with the documentation from the patient, in this case magnetic resonance. We are doing the segmentation, and with this information, the bioprinter can print a scaffold with the same structure and dimension of the injury in the patient. During the same process, we are filling the scaffold with the cells from the own patient, and we are implanting the scaffold inside of the knee of the patient. And in less than 2 years, we are achieving to regenerate the cartilage, and there is no rest of the material used for the scaffold because it's biocompatible and biodegradable. But we can do it, the whole process in the lab, because with our bioreactor, we are printing the knee of the patient, the pathology, we are planting the scaffold, and we are controlling all the movements, the changes, CO2, pH, humidity. We are reproducing in vitro, in the lab, all the conditions done in vivo. And after these bioreaction processes, we are achieving functional cartilage ready to be implanted in the patient. We have different lines, we have bioreactors for arteries, and we have also the possibility of developing ad hoc bioreactor depending on the tissues we want to regenerate. We have both systems patented. The success cases we are working, as I told you, with the most important research group around the world. We are even working inside the surgical theater, for example, in this case, in Seville, in the south of Spain, in a project focused in the abdominal mesh printing. With the University of Sydney, we have achieved to regenerate necrotic cardiac tissue, controlling the irrigation and the innervation. We are printing skin, not only for bad-knee patients, but also for other pathologies, as for example, butterfly skin in the child. And we are also applying this 3-laminar skin model to test drugs and cosmetics, because the companies are testing the transference between the different layers of the skin, for example. And we are also developing disruptive biomaterials with the aim of solving the problems related with these limitations. We have a very experienced team. Also, we are incorporating recognized professionals in the life science market. Our current situation, where we are in more than 30 countries right now, collaborating with more than 100 research groups around the world, commercializing the bioprinters, the bioreactors, and all the bioinks, fungibles, etc., etc. Our objective being here today is keep growing up our collaborations with the research group in Asia, in which we have very impressive results. For example, with the University of Medicine of the Chinese Air Forces in bone regeneration project. We are operating in a very impressive market, as you can see here, with this report from Markets and Markets. And we are financing by different national tenders, for example, with CDTI. And recently we have achieved to close 2 European projects with funding over 1 million, and we have also closed 2 equity crowdfunding round over 1 million too. And our roadmap, we want to keep growing up. We want to continue with our expansion. We have the objective of opening a logistics center, not only in America, but also in Asia, establishing collaboration and creating and promoting the tissue regeneration in our labs. Here you have all my contacts data. If you want further information or even some scientific paper, I will be glad of sharing it with you.
Thank you, Manuel. I just you put a question: can we manufacture organs? Not yet. So it's a nice challenge. I guess you're going to need a lot of collaboration and financial support for that.
Yeah.
The next speaker. We are kind of short of time. I don't know if you can make it in 10 minutes each, and even in 10 minutes each, we'll go beyond the schedule. Next speaker is Dr. Oscar Flores. He's the CEO and co-founder of GenomeCore. He's specialized in personal health. Dr. Oscar has been recognized by the MIT Technology Review with the Innovators Under 35 Award. Please, Dr. Oscar Flores, floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Jordi, and thank you very much to the CDTI to allow me to present what we are doing at GenomeCore. I'm sharing my screen now. You should see it now. So GenomeCore is a low-code platform for implementing precision health digital solutions. I know that this is something quite weird or quite strange in the sector, but it has a clear rationale. I mean, we started the company in 2015, and we started with a vision to allow the real-world implementation of precision health. So I'm a researcher. I was doing my PhD in the Institute for Research of Biomedicine in Barcelona, and I was frustrated that one of the things that I was doing in the academia, they were not translating into the society, and analyzing the causes of that. There were many, and we will highlight some now. But since then, we have been developing different approaches to make that, to enable, to ease the implementation of precision health or data-driven medicine into the real world. To understand how this company is created and the know-how that we have on the sector, is very important to understand the background of both co-founders. I mean, I'm a computer engineer, then I did a PhD in biomedicine, and then I did an MBA where I met my co-founder, Miquel. Miquel, he's a nurse and a physiotherapist, so he was in primary care. He was working more than 10 years in hospitals, in attending patients. And eventually he moved towards the IT consultancy sector in the implementation of software for hospitals and for nurseries. So eventually we both had our own views about, okay, there is a lot of data in the clinical sector. The sector is moving towards a fast digitalization of different data-driven solutions. But it never crystallizes in something that is really actionable for doctors. No? So today we have 35 employees working on that, working on making the data-driven precision health a reality. So as you probably know, at the end, the 21st century healthcare approach is the precision medicine approach, the data-driven medicine approach. And it is based on analyzing a lot of high-resolution information that we can acquire from different sources, from molecular tests, like genomics, from metabolic tests, like traditional blood testing, from medical imaging, from biosensors, from wearables, from just asking people about, okay, which are your health habits, do you do sports, which is your diet, etc. And all this information can be used for a myriad of different things. I mean, for biomedical research, for the diagnosis, for the prognosis, for the treatment, or for the prevention of different diseases. The problem is that the people who should be addressing these challenges, well, I mean, there is no one that is expert in everything, no? I mean, when we have when we are targeting the health or life science professionals, they have a lot of know-how and they know what they want to do. I mean, I want to monitor the signal from this patient, and I want to, I don't know, for example, I want to check the genetics and the blood testing to see if there is a possible interaction here that I can address with some drug. But then, in order to do these algorithms, they require the collaboration of engineers or data scientists that, as you know, I mean, it's a global, scarce and expensive resource. So at the end, and they are not savvy in the kind of in the domain expertise that the healthcare professionals have. And on top of that, we have all the regulatory and all the compliance regards medical devices, regards personal data management in clinical settings, regards all the quality assessment that a medical software requires. So at the end, doing this kind of solutions is a complex, it's expensive, and it's slow. No? So there is another trend in the market, in the IT market, and especially, I mean, you will understand very easily with examples. That is the no-code, the low-code solution builders. No, I mean, for example, right now, if you want to make a web page, you don't need to know how to code a web page. You install WordPress, and just by a visual builder, you can make a very nice looking website. The same if you want to do an e-commerce. I mean, you don't need to program an e-commerce. You install Shopify and you start from there to do your own e-commerce. And at the end, the most clear example is Excel, no? Microsoft Excel. At the end, we all have a lot of different data. We put that in a spreadsheet, and we can automatize, and we can make some formulas, and we feel just fine because, well, I mean, we are autonomous to build our own solutions without asking a developer or without asking the IT department to do this kind of automatization for ourselves. In fact, according to some insights from the Gartner consultancy, 70% of the business solutions developed in 2025 will be already developed using this kind of low-code approaches from people that they don't consider themselves software developers. So they consider themselves doctors, they consider themselves professionals of any industry, but that they have some data automatization or data structuring need, and they are using a low-code tool to automatize it. However, any kind of these platforms are intended for managing health data. No, I mean, managing genomic data, for example, or managing time series for a medical device. It's something that is out of the scope of this generalistic low-code solutions. So that's what we do at the end at Genome Core. So Genome Core is a low-code platform for precision health. We enable the integration of multimodal data sets like genomics, blood testing, wearables, clinical records, medical imaging, and we manage all the process of importing this data and structuring that in a common format. So professionals standing for doctors, standing for nutritionists, standing for any kind of biomedical professional or researcher, that they can program maybe a dashboard, maybe a tool to retrieve data from patients, maybe a mobile application to track wearables data and integrate that with a clinical electronic history records. It doesn't matter. I mean, what we enable is the framework to build these kind of solutions. We enable a very easy way to implement artificial intelligence models, which at the end are decision trees. No, it's what the doctor does in their visit, that they check if you have, I mean, if you are a woman of 50 years old and you have this cholesterol high, I mean, the recommendation that I will make is this, no? These kind of algorithms are very easy to implement. You don't need to do machine learning. You don't need to build very complex systems. You can make expert systems based on your knowledge without programming, and this is what we enable. We also enable the delivery of end-user applications and portals for end-user patients without needing to program. It's like a WordPress intended for delivering biomedical data. And all of this is end-to-end integrated with the requirements of medical software as medical device requirements, quality and assessment, life cycle management, that personal data management requirements. For example, here in Europe for the GDPR, in the States for the hyper-regulation. Etc. So some of the projects that we have been doing, just to show you some examples that we have been doing, we are currently managing all the genomics pipelines of SYNLAB. SYNLAB is the largest diagnosis clinical provider in Europe, fourth in the world. It's like Quest or LabCorp in the States, like Sonic in Australia. SYNLAB is the fourth clinical diagnosis group in Europe. We are managing all their genomics pipelines and some knowledge-based system in Spain and Latin America. We have also been awarded with the largest public, the largest private project for the development of an artificial intelligence to assess the integral management of cancer patients in a 40 million euros project that is being funded by the Next Generation funds here in Europe. We have been working with Etisalat in the United Arab Emirates in the consultancy services for deploying the ongoing UAE genomics platform, the national genomics platform, in collaboration with the Department of Health and the Ministry of Health. And we have been providing also support to Novartis through a CRO in doing a clinical trial led by patients. So it's instead of going and recruiting patients using the traditional flows, we involved patient associations and patients themselves. They enroll in the project using our technology, and they were screened from there. We are doing a lot of things, also more for monitoring fragility in elderly people, in delivering genomics to people in the Comunidad de Madrid, etc. We are in the intersection at the end of the complex bioinformatics platforms that are usually reserved for researchers and are quite expensive. I mean, we target to be a really cost-effective solution, also intended for countries where the know-how is scarce, the know-how in precision medicine is scarce, and the resources are also limited. So what we target is to make this affordable and accessible to the whole world. We are comparing with the general no-code platforms, despite they cannot deal with medical data. And the most similar use case are the telemedicine platforms that are easy to set up by a doctor, but they are more intended for delivering telemedicine and not really the kind of things that we are doing. We commercialize that as mainly as large projects using traditional project management and key account management services. But right now we are moving towards a low-cost solution, platform as a service model. And we also offer intelligence insights under the brand Made of Genes, that this is more intended for health insurances or people that they don't want the platform itself. I just want I don't know, I want a personalized diet, or I want a genomic screening, or I want something that it's more like one shot and just a process per study. And that's what we do at Genome Corp. So it has been a pleasure to present to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Oscar. Very illustrative, everything. So it's been nice to hear your presentation. Let's move on to the next speaker. We are almost running out of time. Miss Jordina Arcal is the Deputy CEO of NGN Neuro. She's been awarded with MIT Prize for Best Innovators under 35 years old and recognized as one of the leaders in digital innovation. Ms. Jordina, please, you have we are already out of time, so 10 minutes, please. If you can shorten that in 10 minutes, would be great.
I guess I'll try to do it shorter than 10 minutes, so we don't go that late. So first of all, thank you very much for inviting us and presenting our project and for giving us your time. As said, my name is Jordina Arcal, and I'm the Deputy CEO at MJN. At MJN, we work with people with epilepsy. And first of all, I have to say that this is a very personal project. Our founder, David, has a daughter, Marina, which is suffering epilepsy for more than 17 years. So we at the team do know what is living with epilepsy. Marina is working with us. So all the team suffer what's living with epilepsy. And if you don't know a lot about epilepsy means surprise attack. And patients living with it suffer several seizures per day. These seizures are led to accidents, injuries, and sometimes are led to deaths. And it means that it's very exhausting and stressful for families and their caregivers. 1 to 3% of the world's population is suffering from epilepsy, meaning that 50 to 150 million people is suffering from it. And from them, there's a 30% that are drug resistant, meaning that even though they are taking medication, they're still suffering constant seizures. So imagine not being able to cook because you don't know if you're going to suffer a seizure, or not being able to be alone in the bathroom because you can fall down and open your head. So as said, living with epilepsy is hard, and the quality of life is very poor, not only for patients, but also for families. And on the other hand, doctors, they don't have many information. There's a black box between visits. So they don't know what's happening on there, and prescribing or changing medications is very hard for them. For all of them, we have developed MJN Ceras. MJN Ceras, it's a hearing aid. It looks like a hearing aid, but in the end, it is a portable EEG. an earpiece that continuously records the electric brain activity through the ear canal. With that, we send the information to a mobile phone app where we embed a personalized artificial intelligence algorithm that is able to continuously assess the risk of suffering a seizure. So with it, we are able to provide patients peace of mind. We are able to let them know if they are on a low, mid, or high risk of suffering a seizure. So we can alert them with some minutes in advance of a seizure, and they can put themselves on a safe position. How does it work? It's very easy. We do develop a device which is custom fit, and it has a 3-channel EEG in the ear where we track the electric brain activity. And this device is connected via Bluetooth to the patient's mobile phone app, where they only have to switch on the app and wear the mobile phone. If they are on high risk of suffering a seizure, they will receive 1 to 3 minutes in advance an alert, both acoustic and vibration, to let them know that they are in high risk. With that, they can put themselves in a safe position and avoid these accidents, injuries, or sometimes deaths. We can also generate a mirror that it's very useful for caregivers, so they do know when their beloved ones are going to suffer a seizure and they can act consequently. We do have the CE mark of this device. We started our sales in Spain this year and also in Europe. We do have the ISO, and it is patented and protected. We are now working on obtaining the FDA. With our product, we can reduce accidents, we can reduce injuries, emergencies, and death, but we also can reduce the economic impact of the illness. Imagine, we can reduce the hospital intakes, and we can reduce enormously the cost that it takes for insurances. And finally, what is more important, we can also reduce emotional impact. We can increase the quality of life, decreasing also anxiety and depression. We can also provide better information for doctors. And we can do that because our properly protected solution, which is protected by a patent, and it's also protected by trade secrets, trademarks, and a copyright. There are many solutions trying to do this in the market, but we are the only solution that is able to predict seizures. So we are the only ones that can alert in advance. Other solutions are based on detecting or are very intrusive solutions that need surgery or are very non-reliable solutions that are based on movement. So we have developed this here in Spain. I have to say that we had the great support of the CDTI that helped us on developing the project. And we did this with David and I as the C-level of the company, David acting as a CEO and me as a deputy CEO helping on the strategy. We also have a C-level team on sales, technology, operations, financials, and quality, and a team of engineers and doctors that are helping us on developing and improving our product. We also are very supported by an advisory board composed of scientists, of doctors, and also of legal that are helping us on making the best of our company. We've done several clinical trials. We've proved that our product is working. Now we are running a trial in real life in 3 countries in the whole Europe. And our aim is to start the trials in the US by 2023. We have collaborations with key opinion leaders in whole Europe regarding clinical part and also technological key opinion leaders. We also work with many businesses and strategic partners in the whole Europe, and we are very close to patients' organizations, not only in Spain, but also in the US. We raised more than 10.5 million euros so far between private investment and non-dilutive grants. And we do have our first users wearing our device every day in their lives, so increasing their quality of life. Our aim is to end 2026 by revenues of more than 48 million euros. This means more than 35,000 units sold. And this will be thanks to a strategic partnership that was recently signed with a very important pharmaceutical company in Europe that is going to distribute a product in the whole Europe. So now we are looking for other partnerships in the other regions of the world to also distribute our product. We are also working on developing business models for private insurance companies and public healthcare systems together with DKV, which is a very big insurance company in Spain, part of Ergo Group, the biggest private insurance group in the whole Europe, and also with Medtronic, working on obtaining the reimbursement needed for all the countries. And this is not the only thing we do. We also scale this solution to other diseases. And we started with Alzheimer's. So we have developed another product which detects the Alzheimer in an early stage. So between 12 to 18 months before the first signs are presented. This will help us on reducing the economic impact of the illness and will help us on the early detection so doctors can provide better quality of life of that patients. And on the other hand, we recently started to develop a new project for developing a Holter EEG that will help doctors on identifying many neuronal diseases thanks to that product. So in the end, long story short, I try to be super short. We are a company that is investing in R&D. We are a social company that wants to help people all over the world on have a better quality of life. And today we do have a viable solution for epilepsy and Alzheimer. Tomorrow, we want to have other viable solutions for other diseases difficult to treat. Thank you very much to all of you, and so sorry for being so short.
Thank you very much, Jordina. It's been an excellent example of digitalization applied to health. This was the final speech for today's webinar. I would like to go through the questions, but given the constraints of time, I think we cannot go through the questions. So I would like to finish by paraphrasing a sentence from Ambassador Felipe DE La Morena, which he was saying that beyond sharing, today's speakers are also actively seeking for new cooperation opportunities, tech alliances and business partnerships with the stakeholders in ASEAN member states, which I would like to extend it to any idea of cooperation that you, the audience, I'm talking about the audience, may come across. Then I guarantee that from CTI, we'll try to match your interest in Spain. So please keep that in mind for future cooperation with Spain. So I'd like to thank you all for the cooperation and have a nice day and weekend ahead. Thank you.
Thank you so much. If you allow me to also thank everyone on behalf of EURAXESS ASEAN, it was our great pleasure to welcome so many of you to the European Research and Innovation Days ASEAN 2022. I know a lot of you attended not only today's webinar, but also a lot of the other 15 webinars that we hosted in the past 2 weeks. Thank you so much. As we've heard from our speakers and our moderator, Jenny and I, of course, are here in the region. EURAXESS ASEAN is your main contact tool if you would like to reach out to some of the presenters of today, but also, of course, to other potential collaborators in Spain and in other parts of the European research area. So please make use of the fact that we are here and we're looking forward to hearing from you. You will receive in the coming days and weeks an email from us where we will share the recording of not just today's session, but all the sessions of the past 2 weeks. You will also receive the presentation slides of today's presenters. And if you would very urgently like to get in touch with the presenter today, just send us an email at asean@euraxess.net and we will get in touch with you. Now I leave the final word to my colleague, Jenny.
Nothing else left to say except thank you so much for joining us for the whole duration of European Research Innovation Days in ASEAN 2022. We were discussing about green and digital transformation. Thank you to Spain for that strong close to this year's European Research and Innovation Days. And a special thanks as well to our tech team. We have a very young team from Renaissance Young Leaders Forum of Silliman University in the Philippines. Thank you so much, guys, for helping us. Have a good night, everybody. Buen fin de. Bye.
Good night, and thank you so much. Gracias.
Goodbye.